What we're looking at now are some dynamic warm-up ideas. What we're going to do first, we're going to work through a whole heap of different dynamic warm-up exercises before we go through and show you some actual sequences that you can use, okay? Some 5-10 minute style sequences you can use in your boot camp or with your PT clients or whatever, using the movements. But what we'll do first is we just go through each of the movements, just talk you through a little bit, not going to be too in depth on each movement, but just give you an idea of some of the different things and then how they work, how you can chain them together as well. All right? So dynamic warm-ups, why they're important. So basically, you know, probably not that long ago, you know, 10, 15 years ago, static stretching was how everyone warmed up, which was great for improving flexibility, but has since sort of been proven that it's not great for warming up, essentially. It's not great for getting the blood flowing, not great for improving your mobility, so your joint mobility. It is more applicable for improving your flexibility. So it does have, static stretching definitely has its benefits, but I think as a or as a warm-up activity, I think science is sort of starting to prove or has proven that dynamic warm-ups are far more beneficial. The important thing with your dynamic warm-up, start slow and work your way into it a little bit, okay? And then obviously what you're looking at doing is whatever your workout is going to include, obviously make sure that within your dynamic warm-up you're going to get those parts of the body moving. Ideally, a good sequence should improve overall blood flow and mobility to all parts of the body, essentially, so that whatever activity you're going to go on with, your body's ready for it. Obviously, if you're going on with for example, a workout which is going to be primarily legs based, you want to make sure that within your dynamic warm-up you're really including plenty of work around your glutes or your hamstrings, your quads, your calves, whatever it may be. And then especially if you're doing one-on-one or small group as opposed to boot camp, you may have a client that may need to work on more specific areas. It may happen in boot camp as well, but obviously when you're one-on-one you can provide that more specific direction. So for example, your tight Achilles or something like that, you can spend a bit more time working through that ankle mobility for that particular client. Okay, it's a bit easier. So we'll go into we'll get started now with all the dynamic stretches and the dynamic warm-up ideas. So first one, I'll start basically from bottom heading up, okay? So we'll start from ankles is a good one. We'll start ankles and we'll go into calves and stuff like that. They're pretty simple. A lot of the ankle stuff's pretty simple, is just, the rolling and stuff like that. It's very simple. Go one way, go the other way, back and forward. And then you've got moving into this sort of stuff. Now, if you want to improve that further, you get down into that prone position, and here. And now you're starting to get into that ankle, Achilles, calf sort of area, going from one to the other. All right, so that's starting to look at your ankles. Move up, we'll look at hamstrings. A couple of ways you can look at your hamstrings. Now you've got your toy soldier march, okay, or your toe touches. So basically your hands are out in front, and you'll take a few steps and you're coming up, a few steps and then up. Now again, this is one of those ones you want to make sure that you've done a little jog, a light jog, before you start getting into this, because you don't want to have anyone pang a hamstring before they get into your session, all right? So again, from here, it's just a, one step together, up, step together, up, all right? And you're trying to get that foot up to those hands, really working at the hamstring there. Now the other one that's great for your hamstrings, also obviously a little bit quad, is your boots to glutes, I've heard it referred to. Basically trying to get your heels to your backside. So as you're jogging around, you need boots to glutes. So obviously that movement is firing your hamstring. So your hamstring fires, and you're trying to get that your heel to touch your bum, all right, or your hands even, see that often, that sort of trying to get to your hand. Now what you want to do with that, ideally you want to keep it in line. So you don't want people getting that foot coming out and the knee going in. You want to keep it all in a straight line, all right, as best as possible. So that's one way with your hamstrings. That's quite dynamic, that one. The next one is where you look at, you transition this one from one movement to the other. So you might start in this sort of position, and from here you're coming up and into the hamstring, sitting back. All right. All right, and you can do the same sort of thing in these sort of positions. You can come down, get your hamstring, get your groin. All right, and you're going from side to side, your sort of Cossack style squat. Again, you can try and stay a bit higher. All right, and you're getting that sort of hamstring, groin area. And there's a lot of movements, like I said, that you can combine together, which obviously work multiple parts, and we'll go into that as well. Quads. Now, the best one for quads, you find, includes your glutes and stuff as well, but is your knee to chest. And you're really trying to get your knee to your chest, not so much your chest to your knee. So you don't want to be there. You're really trying to get that knee up to your chest. And you should get that through your glutes and your quads, all right? So, glutes, quads, we've done a little bit of groin, okay? Next one you look at is your hip flexor. Now, my favorite one for the hip flexor is that sort of runner style stretch. So that's this one here, up in this position. Now, this hip flexor, hamstring, glute, and even a bit of ankle in this one here. What I like to do is I like to lean all the way over and roll, force out. Okay, so from front on, you're here. So I'm putting my weight forward, trying to get my knee out past my toe, and then rolling. And even staying taller. And you'll get that hip flexor through the back there, so making sure you stay tall. A nice cue for this one is pushing your back heel down and squeezing your glute. So push your back foot down and then squeeze your glute, keep your chest high. From here you've got stretching up is going to increase that stretch through the hip flexor. And then, like I said, there's those combinations. So you can start here and lean back into a hamstring and up into a glute, back into a hamstring. And then you can come forward and you're getting more of your hip here, glute, groin, bit of everything. Force it out. From this position here, you can also look into some of your rotation style movements. So this could be here. First one I like to do is just drop that elbow, getting that bit of thoracic rotation, or even thread the needle that way. So you're getting that hand down, palm up, pushing the palm down. All right. And the other one is hand on one side, stretching up. Again, other hand in. You can go that way as well. Not as good that way. But I find often if you're twisting towards the leg that's up, is a bit easier. All right. So that's one of my favourite ones actually, that runner stretch. Now, for next one you can look at is that sort of squat, sit to squat. So what you do, take a nice wide sort of stance. Again, depends on where you're at. And you're sitting down and you're pulling, almost pulling yourself down through your toes, okay? And trying to force your knees out. So again, depends on your mobility. This is not my strength here. And up, hamstrings. So that one, again, you're opening up your hips, getting that range through your quads. As you're standing up, you're getting that movement into your hamstrings as well. So there we're looking at your lower part of your body. Continuing, next one is the sort of cradle position, similar to your knee to chest, but instead you're going to try and get that bit of a 45-degree angle, and just brings the glute more into it. So 45-degree angle and up. Now you don't want too much, okay, so just a little bit. So that 45-degree angle and up. And again, it's just getting that rotation with your hip and then bringing up, okay. As you get better, obviously your balance and everything improves, and you can hold it, walk, you do it on the spot. We often do them walking around the court that we use, okay. So again, that's another great one for your hips and stuff. Now moving on to some of your lower back style variations. You've got your low scorpion, which is quite a good one. So you're lying down and you're getting your right foot, for example, going over here. While I'm here, another good one for your hamstrings is just simply that running action, that hamstring curl action, just up, all right? There's your scorpion and your hamstring curl. From there, a couple of other variations you can do. As you move up from your lower back, sorry, you can look at more your thoracic, okay? So you've got these ones from here, going over. What I like to do is knees up to 90, feet to 90 and over, or you can have one leg up, one leg over, up, swap, over, or straightening that leg as well. So working, trying to move up your back a little bit further there. Now as you move up more to your thoracic, okay, these are another bunch of my favorite ones are my thoracic. Good one is the thread the needle. So you're getting your hand in, you're on all fours and under, and try and drop that shoulder down, pushing the back of your hand down to the ground and looking up. From here, you've also got the kneeling thoracic twist. So hand on the ear, basically, elbow up, under and up. Under and up. So we had the thoracics from that runner's lunge position. You've also got a thoracic twist from this sort of position here. So you've got a thoracic twist from that same sort of position. Now a couple as you're moving up again, you've got your lunge, like we said with the stretch, which will give that more of a, your hip flexor more involved. But then you've also got with a rotation, which is going to get your oblique, so your psoas sort of area here, as well as your thoracic. So here, again, you can do it both ways where you're here. I find for balance purposes, twisting to that same leg is a bit easier than twisting this way. But what I quite often do is one, couple of steps, next one, couple of steps. So you're getting that stretch through your psoas, you're getting your thoracic and a whole heap of things there as well. So covering your thoracic. Now a couple of other ones that you start to look at for your upper body. Good one is getting your hips back. So start just getting those hips back. So you've got a bit of a stretch here. Thumbs are in, okay, so we'll come forwards here. Thumbs are in, and as you're coming up, thumbs are out. And what you're trying to do is squeeze your shoulder blades together. So here, so thumbs to the sky, and thumbs together. So you're squeezing your shoulder blades, opening your chest up a little bit, and then getting more of your upper back, all right? And there's a few other ones we move on to for your shoulders. You've got your sort of wipers. So here, up. So trying to squeeze your elbows down into your ribs almost and squeezing your back together. So again, you're still getting that back, but you're also getting the shoulders in there as well as you reach up and overhead. All right. Then you've got your circles, nice and easy. You start with your big circles, moving on to your smaller circles, and then you've got your alternating shoulder stuff as well. And from there, you've got the one, it's called like a towel twist. So what you want to do is, as one hand goes, the other one goes. So this one's going in, this one's coming out. And again, just loosening up your shoulder joint, so your towel twist. So as one hand goes out, you look to the hand going out, the other one comes in. So it's your towel twist, all right? And then you've also just got your simple neck rolls. So you're starting here if you need to, here, just nice and easy. Half circles. I'm not a fan of the full circle on the neck, but you know, up, back, side. A good one on the side is putting your hand on the opposite, like putting your opposite back pocket, stretching out to the side, and then like I said, just that sort of half circle. All right, and that's basically working your way up the body. So there's a whole range of dynamic sort of exercises you can do to start your session. And the trick is now how you learn to tie them together. Like I mentioned, some of them tie together quite well. And so what I'm going to go through next is how you tie some of those stretches together before we get into a couple of just dynamic stretching warm-ups.